I've been asked the question a ton. Okay, you lose Dylan Lonergan, you're probably losing Jalen Milroe. What does it look like as far as the rest of the quarterback room? And do you bring in someone from the transfer portal? I think that's an interesting question because what you're lacking is playing experience. But from a setup of your quarterback room, everything else is kind of there unless you want four arms. Unless that's the case. I mean, you've got Ty Simpson, who has been in the system for a while. And so he doesn't have the playing experience, but he's got time in the system, at least a year under DeBoer, and he's done the whole college thing. He's played a little bit, gotten his feet wet a little bit. So, I think that from that standpoint, he's a Garrett Nussmeier-esque.
Right.
And then you look behind him. What you don't want to do is bring in a quarterback who's probably going to want to play or going to want to compete. And then, that guy ends up being the backup and not Keelan Russell. When you've got a player like, think of Nico Iamaleava or, Bryce Young. When he came in, he almost immediately let Paul Tyson for the number 2 spot. If you've got that phenom that you're kind of trying to groom or get them ready, you want them getting all the reps, whether it be in practice or in games that you can possibly get them. And I think that I love Austin Mack too. I think he's got a lot of potential, but I think pretty much everybody can agree. More than likely, if I had to guess, I was going to look in 2025. I think it's going to be Ty Simpson, and I think it's going to be Keelan Russell being the number 2, getting all those mop-up duty reps, getting the number 2 reps in practice. Austin Mack will have opportunities. I'm not saying that he won't, but I just think that's the setup. And I think if you bring in a transfer portal player, that throws a wrench into all of that. So you would really need to get the right guy who is just, he would be totally fine being the number 3, maybe even the number 4, depending on Austin Mack.
Right.
And I just don't know if there's anybody out there that's worth getting. Now, you might get post-spring and decide that you want to go in a different direction because you don't like how things are currently trending as far as your guys. But I think as far as pre-spring, there's no reason to bring anybody else in. Numbers, obviously having 3, you're a little bit short. That is concerning. But I think they would probably stick with what they've got and at least go through spring ball.